always marvel at the ingenuity of man. I mean, look at this monster. What was that movie where the bulldozer was possessed? I mean, that was a great movie. I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Look at that monster. And look at this. Imagine how much metal's in that blade right there. Crazy, isn't it? All right, we're here at the car dealership. Just thought I'd make a quick video. Let's get going. Watching the world burn, watching the world burn. May 8th, 2025. Let's get into it. The first story I wanted to get into, this is some good news, because we're slowly but surely eliminating the Democrats' ability to cheat in elections. And every little bit counts. But I just wanted to read this just in. America First Legal has won its lawsuit in Arizona, requiring all 15 counties in Arizona to remove illegal aliens from the voter rolls. A huge win for election integrity and ensuring only U.S. citizens vote in our elections. So, and also if you watch YouTube, there's some other things that are going on in Arizona. So they're slowly cleaning that state up, even though the Democrats are fighting them tooth and nail with lawsuits and lawfare, you know, just like they're fighting Trump with lawfare. Boy, I tell you, those Democrats are sneaky bastards, aren't they? Anyway, I guess the theme of today's video is we're going to talk about Victory Day, because tomorrow's the big day, and Xi Jinping, he arrived in Russia, I want to say yesterday, I believe, and I think it's 44 world leaders are going to be there for the Victory Day parade. And I was watching Chaz Bowen on RT. He said the security is just insane. Full body pat downs. I mean, you know, it's, you know, the Russians are taking it very seriously. I bet the air defenses around Moscow right now are probably the best in the world. I mean, or the best in history of the world. Anyway, so it's going to be a big event. I wish that Trump had decided to attend Victory Day. I mean, because, you know, we're going to get into, I don't know if we'll get into it in this video, but I wanted to get some history out there for you as to what Victory Day is. You know, 27 million Russians died in World War II. And if you didn't know, you know, they were our allies. We gave the Russians a hell of a lot of equipment, deuce and halves mainly, but all kinds of military equipment to fight the Germans with. And they lost 27 million people. And so it was a shared victory. We only lost, it was in the hundreds of thousands when you think, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I'm not knocking any World War II veteran. I'm just saying that Russia paid a hell of a price. And then Trump comes out with that stupid statement that, you know, that we won World War II. No, the Russians won World War II, you know, unfortunately. And I hope that at some point we can get off of this stupid Russia-phobia and be friends with them, or at least business partners, you know. So I don't understand the hatred for the Russians. I hold no hatred for Russia. In fact, I admire their cities. I mean, Moscow is very, very clean and just, you know, very, very safe. The economy's booming over there. Anyway, but I do want to, maybe I'll get some videos of the parade tomorrow and we'll put that in the next video. But I did want to talk about the relationship between China and Russia. This was, I tell you, this New Rules Geopolitics. I'm really enjoying their posts on X, because they, I hate the fact that they put everything in a thread, because then I got to manipulate the phone so that I can read to you. It says, big, Xi Jinping in Moscow for Victory Day parade. Xi and Putin are cementing a game-changing alliance to reshape the global order. Here's the full scoop. Okay, but before I get into the thread, I did want to talk about Pakistan and India for just a minute. I mean, that's turning into quite a full-fledged conflict over there, and these are two nuclear powers. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of frightening, but everybody's not worried. They say, well, they've done these skirmishes many times in the past. You know, all it takes is, you know, let's say you kill somebody's son who's in the military and he's pissed off, and he's got the nuclear codes, and he says, screw it, I'm going to nuke him, man. You know, I mean, you never know. I mean, it's anytime that you got artillery firing back and forth, bombs going off, I think that, I don't know how many jets have been blown up By the way, I got more on the Yemen story. You know, Trump said that they capitulated. Why in the hell? I tell you, sometimes I got to criticize Trump. Why in the hell would he say they capitulated? I mean, what you're doing is you're dissing your enemy. Okay? He should have just said that, you know, we've come to an agreement and just left it at that. And by the way, the agreement is that they're just not going to fire on U.S. ships. Now, I'm not sure if that includes shipping in general in the Red Sea or just U.S. shipping or U.S. warships. They're still going to continue to fight with Israel until all the Gazans are dead, you know. So, but, you know, if Israel has its way, by the way, it was 60 days. There's been no food or water that's been let into Gaza. I finally got the number on that. I think I put it in the last video. I wasn't sure because I couldn't tell you exactly. Well, it's now longer than 60 days. So that's a long time to go without food. So there's a lot of people starving in there. But, you know, the Israelis, they'll get all the Palestinians dead sooner or later. I have confidence in the Israelis. Anyway, let's get into the thread here. I'm gonna try to operate this. Woo, sorry, tilting the thing. This is hard to do. Since, well, I wish I could, by the way, I've looked into a gimbal. It won't work with, I think I might have said this in a previous video. It won't work with the camera because I have to have it in a case. Because if I get rained on or I'm constantly dropping the camera and pumping into trees, you know, when you're not watching where you're going, you know, hell, I almost tripped right here. There was a pipe sticking up out of the ground. Anyway, more construction here. This is Homosassa, Florida, and everywhere you go in Florida, man, just construction everywhere. It's unbelievable. Anyway, military ties deepen. Since 2012, Russia and China hold regular joint exercises, land, sea, air, all across the world. New 2024 drills included AI-driven drone operations. In 2019, Putin revealed that Russia is aiding China's missile warning system. He's also helping Iran, if you didn't know that. And there's a graphic, I put that in the video. Trade skyrockets. Russia and China trade surged 193.2% from $83.5 billion in 2011 to $24.4 billion in 2024. Post-Ukraine conflict, China became Russia's top trade partner, overtaking the EU. This is why Western sanctions failed. And we've got the graphic here to show you the bar graph. And I always like bar graphs like that because you can kind of see the visual increase in what's taking place. So this is BRICS expansion. Russia and China lead BRICS growth, adding UAE, Egypt, and Ethiopia in 2024. The bloc now represents 45% of global population and 30% of GDP, overtaking the G7. And then they've got a picture here of them sitting around the table. Can you imagine? They're now outpacing the G7. I think that's, and Trump wants to start a trade war with China. By the way, I saw in the news before I came out here that we got a trade agreement with Great Britain. Now, the 10% tariff is still going to be on there, but the fact that now we can sell some of our products in Britain without a tariff, that's a huge accomplishment by Trump. So don't tell me the tariffs aren't working to a certain degree. You know, the problem that I feel sorry for Britain is they have stricter requirements on their beef. And I'm hoping that RFK Jr. will put those same requirements on our beef. See, we use antibiotics and hormones with our cattle here in the United States, and that's why they've been banned. That's banned in Europe. You can't do that, and same with Canada. Two good things. Not that I'm for Europe or Canada, but that is something that they do right that we do wrong. We shouldn't be allowing that in our food supply. But anyway, just a little tidbit on the side. Got off on a tangent there. De-dollarization accelerates. 95% of Russia-China trade now in rubles and yuan, dodging the dollar. The BRICS bridge payment system launched in 2023 now rivals SWIFT, with India and Brazil joining trials. So you can see that half the world is moving away from the dollar. And I know Trump, he thinks that he's going to be able to stop that. I don't see how you're going to stop it, you know, because we've weaponized the dollar. We still got sanctions on Russia. We got sanctions on Iran. I mean, the rest of the world looks at that and they say, God dang it, we don't want to trade in dollars because look at what the United States might do to us. You know? I mean, and then of course we're stealing Russia's money. They had I don't know how many billions it was. It's over 100 billion in European banks. And they froze that money so Russia couldn't get their money out of the bank. So you see how they're weaponizing the banking system? They've weaponized SWIFT. So all we're doing is accelerating the de-dollarization. And when the world quits using dollars, we're going to be in trouble. The Energy Alliance, launched in 2019, Power, I think it says Power, and Serbia pipeline delivers 38 billion cubic meters of gas yearly from Russia to China. Russia and China oil imports hit 2.2 million barrels a day in 2024, up 20% since 2022. And I'll put this graphic because I wanted to talk to you. Russia's building another pipeline to China, which is going to be able for them to sell even more gas and oil into China. So you can see that it's a pretty cozy relationship now. And we drove them to it. We drove them to it. Dang. Oh, the auto dealer's calling me. Boy, I hate it when that happens. That's going to require some editing. I don't know if I'll leave it on. Well, I'll leave the initial phone call on the video. Nuclear power push. Russia is building 4 nuclear reactors in China, with 2 more agreed in 2024 for completion by 2030. Joint tech boosts China's nuclear self-reliance. And by the way, that'll be a good thing. I mean, the environmental freaks out there, of course, they're against everything except wind and solar. But that will, I mean, you understand, China has a lot of coal-fired power plants that really, they're the biggest polluter on the planet. It's funny how the climate activists never point that out to you. So this would really save the environment quite a bit. So I just wanted to kind of get that thought in mind. So this is a good thing that Russia's building these nuclear power plants. I mean, it's not like China doesn't already have the nuclear bomb. So, tech collaboration. New 2024 agreement, Russia and China share AI and 5G tech. Huawei, I can't remember how to pronounce that, and other Chinese companies are providing Russia alternatives to Western tech, investing in Russia R&D. So that's interesting. Whoa, daggone it. There we go. All right, space ambitions. Oh, this is a neat one. Yeah, I got another post on this one. Russia and China plan a joint lunar base by 2035 with 11 partners, including Iran and South Africa. Long-term plans also include a nuclear power plant on the moon. Glasnost. BDAO Systems now covers 90% of BRICS nations, rivaling GPS. Okay, let's keep going here. Arctic dominance. They control 60% of cargo going through Northern Sea Route, the main Arctic maritime corridor. Nuclear icebreakers and $10 billion in Arctic port upgrades aim to make the Suez Canal obsolete by 2030. Interesting. And then it's got a graphic here I want to show you so you can kind of see what they're planning. So that you see where the Suez Canal comes down and around, and what they're going to do is go up and around. So that, and by the way, that'll cut the shipping costs by massively. Why do you think Trump wants Greenland? I mean, because he wants to. I mean, I'm sure we could take advantage of that northern corridor too, but we don't have the icebreakers right now. Russia's got the icebreakers in China. I think China might have built some too. I think we only got like 1 icebreaker, or Canada maybe it might just be a Canadian icebreaker. Anyway, let's keep going. By the way, wasn't that crazy when the Chinese, what do they call him in China? The Canadian Prime Minister, and he was in Trump's office, and Trump was going, yeah, he was still ribbing him about being the 51st state, and I thought it was kind of humiliating, and I don't think Trump should treat other world leaders that way. But anyway, the guy is a super liberal, and by the way, we'll have to do a video on it. But Alberta, they just passed a referendum to secede from China. And a lot of people are saying, well, maybe Alberta, Canada, the province, will become the 51st state of the United States. And by the way, in Canadian law, it only takes 51% of the voters to secede from Canada. Canada's very unique in that. So there won't be, you would think there wouldn't be a civil war because it's in their constitution, but I don't think Canadian government really pays much attention to their constitution. And plus, you know, Alberta provides Canada with all cheap energy, and that's another thing. That's why Alberta's also pissed off, because they pay most of the taxes for all of Canada. So, you know, you've got Ottawa there, and, you know, some of the provinces that don't do squat, they don't produce squat, and yet they're living high on the hog because people in Alberta have to work hard. So you can see where there's a lot of animosity in Canada. So that's going to be an interesting story that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Multipolar world revolution. Xi Jinping's alliance is forging a new global order, countering Western dominance. Expect more top-level summits and joint projects in 2025. And that's the end of that feed. So let's see if I can get the next post up without having to cut the video right here. All right, let's keep going. So George Galloway. Russia was the first country to orbit the Earth with Sputnik. Sent the first man into space, the first woman into space, and established the first space station. I remember that space station. My God, am I getting old or what? Oh man, I'm telling you. By the way, this is, I put this video up front, but I did want to tell you what this was. This was a video of yesterday's attempt by the Ukrainian Armed Forces to break through the Kursk Oblast. The enemy was trying to get to the village of Novy Put, but only got the same ending. All armored vehicles were burned and the infantry was wiped out. And then, of course, it goes on from there. And you saw the video up front. So this is, and we were talking about this. It's funny, I'm glad we got this on this video because I was talking about Yemen. Trumpeting for the oppressed Palestinian, triumphing. I'm sorry, it's hard to see with the lighting, and my eyes ain't all that good. For the oppressed Palestinian people and their mujahideen, and in rejection of the crime of genocide perpetrated by the Zionist enemy against our people in the Gaza Strip. The UAV force of Yemen Armed Forces carried out 2 military operations. The first targeted the Zionist enemy's Ramon airport at the al-Rashish area in southern occupied Palestine using 2 drones. The other targeted the vital target of the Zionist enemy in the occupied areas of the Jaffa using a Jaffa drone. As part of the retaliation to the American aggression against our country and crimes against our beloved, faithful, and steadfast people. Boy, I tell you, these are a little long-winded for the Yemen military. The naval and UAV forces of the Yemeni Armed Forces carried out a specific military operation targeting the U.S. aircraft carrier Truman and a number of its warships in the northern Red Sea with a ballistic missile and several drones. And that was when we lost that F-18 over the side. By the way, I don't know if you knew, somehow we lost a third F-18. So we've lost 3 F-18 planes bombing Yemen. And by the way, if you recall, I hope you go back and watch my previous video, but I was telling you, one of the reasons I think we pulled out is we're low on munitions. We had to get that carrier group out of there to re-outfit it. And also, I'm sure that we're running low on our inventories, you know, our stock of bombs. I mean, good God, Israel's been dropping bombs like candy, and we're rolling them over there daily, giving them 2,000-pound bombs to exterminate the Palestinians, you know, so shit. And then, of course, what we gave to Ukraine, I keep telling you, the inventories have got to be running low. Got to be running low. We've been giving Ukraine weapons for 3 freaking years. And under Biden, it was just, it was like, I was like, where in the hell are all these weapons coming from? I couldn't believe how much we must have had in our inventory. Anyway, let's keep reading. The thwarting of an air attack by the American enemy was preparing to carry out against our country. The downing of an American F-18 due to the state of confusion and panic and the enemy reached during targeting. Yeah, that was us. We blew one of our F-18s out of the air. The U.S. aircraft carrier Truman fled to the far north of the Red Sea. The operation was carried out before the American enemy announced cessation of its aggression against our country. The Yemeni Armed Forces affirmed that they will not hesitate to deliver harsh and painful blows to the American enemy should aggression resume on our country. And I hate this because every time I get out of reading it, it pops back. That's something maybe I need to talk to Elon about. I'm sure I can get him on the phone. And he says, hey, Elon, you know, when you read a post and you pop out in your bookmarks, don't pop it all the way back to the beginning of the bookmarks. So this is, the United States, this is Max breaking covert intel, U.S. in serious danger, High Turner report. The United States of America is in severe danger. We're actually unable to fill all the missile tubes. See, this is what I was talking about. Remember I was talking about the inventory. All our missile tubes in our Navy because we're short on them. And we cannot make more fast enough. So I should have had it. We cannot make more fast enough to defend our own land. Think of the last 2 world wars. There was no known start date like the football game. The start of both was only known in hindsight. Hamas has now to go all in, as they know they face annihilation by the IDF. Well, yes, they do. Same with, well, the Palestinian people do. Hezbollah, no doubt, will do the same, knowing that this is their best chance ever in achieving their aim of wiping out Israel. Rumors abound that Hezbollah will declare war on Friday. Yemen have already done so. How long before Jordan, Syria, and Egypt join the mess? Maybe even Turkey, and we've talked about that in previous videos. You know, I don't think Egypt is going to sit there and watch all the Palestinians get exterminated or pushed onto their land. And so Egypt could come across at any time. And also, you got to remember, Israel seized that there's a plot of land that was between Egypt and Israel. And Israel seized that because it was disputed. It's kind of like the Kashmir region in between China and India. It was a disputed region. So they've already pissed Egypt off. Like I said, Israel's pissing everybody off. USA are, of course, joined at the hip with Israel. UK, too. So both nations will be dragged in to protect Israel, which will lead to Russia, China, and others. Pakistan, Iran getting involved. And China will surely use the crisis to open up a Pacific front by invading Taiwan. And I'm not so sure about that, but he's saying, I'm just reading you the post. And maybe the Palestinians, too. The USA are going to be very stretched to cover all 3 fronts effectively. Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Arab, and China, and Taiwan. Meanwhile, there are other flashpoints that we don't even get any coverage anymore, but are just as dangerous. Serbia, Kosovo, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and North and South Korea, to name just 3 that are either at war or on the verge of one. Undoubtedly, we are already in World War III. Now, I do agree with the last part there. And we're going to lose. I hate to say it. After what we've done to our inventories trying to fight Russia with that proxy Ukraine. So, I mean, we've obliterated Ukraine. I imagine that the weapons are getting short to even deliver to Ukraine. You know, and I love when he said that the missile tubes, we don't have enough weapons to fill the missile tubes on the Navy ships. Isn't that interesting? Let's see if we can get one more here. This is Peacemaker. Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered the Russian Defense Ministry to prepare a list of targets in Kiev for strikes by Iranian missile complexes, Russian media reported. According to reports, the Ukrainian Armed Forces are preparing more serious provocations than just one drone strike during the 80th anniversary of Victory Day celebrations in Moscow. Therefore, Russia is planning a thorough response, which will probably directly hit Kiev. In that regard, Ukrainian authorities are hastily leaving the capital and evacuating their families abroad. If Ukraine hits Russia during the celebration, I wouldn't want to be a Ukrainian, because Russia's, I mean, you want to talk pissed. They're going to hit them hard, man. They're going to hit them hard. I hope they're not that stupid. You know, I have no beef. I have a beef against the Nazis that are in Ukraine. I have a beef against their totalitarian government that won't hold elections. And of course, dragging people off of the streets to send them to the front line to die with little or no training. I'm not a big Ukraine fan. Anyway, I remember back when everybody was putting those flags in their windows, Ukraine, yay! Ukraine, yay! Oh my God, I was so pissed off. I guess I get pissed off about too many things, don't I? All right, that's it for today's video. Peace out. Stay free. While I'm here at the dealership, let's get a view of a couple of the new vehicles from Toyota. I had to ask about this, but who would be, all right, so look at here. You got the MSRP, which is 80, might as well just round that up, $80,000. And then they said Smart Choice for $56,864. So I was curious about what the hell is a Smart Choice? So I went in, and that's a 3-year lease on the vehicle. You're gonna pay almost $57,000 to drive it. And then of course you can buy the vehicle at the end of the lease for whatever discount you get. It's kind of like the Inflation Reduction Act, which should have been named the Inflation Increase Act. And that should be named Stupid Choice instead of Smart Choice. but I imagine some people are dumb enough to do that. But look at this thing. It is bad looking, don't you think? This is kind of a nice touch with the plastic here. The fold-in mirrors. Let's get a shot of the interior. Boy, I kind of like that contrast on the seats with the orange color. I wonder if it's open. No, it's locked. I figured it would be. Look at these tires, though. Man, if you were a rich kid, wouldn't you love to have one of these? And then the nice touch here with the cargo bed. You see how it's got the what do they call that? The rough coating. So that's, you know, that normally on a regular pickup truck, that's extra. But here's the back. Look at the size of that bed. And then of course the 2-inch towing hitch, the iForce Max. Anyway, just wanted to get that. And I like the new trucks are coming with these lights up on the top. That's always a nice thing too. And of course it's got the running boards. Man, but I guess for $80,000. By the way, I was talking to the Toyota dealer about the tariffs and what that's going to do, and they had no idea. They're like, well, we've never been through tariffs before, so we don't know what that's going to do. All right, I just want to get one of the vehicles. If I see another one that I really think's cool, we'll get it on the video. So here's a Land Cruiser. The thing I like about this, look at the clearance on this thing. That's pretty damn good. You could take this thing some places. But of course you got the rear windshield wiper, but look at those tires. Those are badass, aren't they? Man, oh man. And of course I like the fact that you got the step up. That's a nice touch. And look at the black handles. That's kind of neat. Let's take a look inside. I don't know, I can't really get the reflection off the windows. It's gonna cut us out. We'll get it from the front. That's what it looks like. Unfortunately, they're putting, I don't know why they're doing this, but they're putting the stickers in the damn right there, and so I can't get like the mileage on this thing or any information that I would love to give you. I don't know why they're doing that now, but I wanted to get this on the video. This is the new Prius. Hasn't really changed in look very much, has it? I tell you what, I love my Prius Prime. But I mean, if you wanted the Prius is still a fantastic vehicle. I want to see if I could get, it says 57, yeah, it's because it's down low, I can read it to you. Fuel economy, 57 miles highway, or 57 city, 56 highway. And then the MSRP is, it's only $32,000. Now with the tariffs, I imagine that's going to go up. But still, you know, I'll tell you what, if I was going to buy a car, you know, especially if I've got to commute back and forth to work, this would probably be the one I'd buy. By the way, they don't have any Prius Primes on the lot. And I asked the guy, he said, well, he says, when we get them in, they're usually, they're on back order. So they can't even keep them on the lot, the Prius Prime. So yeah, you'd have to order one of those. But this is another Prius. All right, let's keep going. Maybe we'll get something else on the video here. All right, this is the new Corolla. MSRP, $28,335. And, you know, nice look. Look at the grill there. I don't fall off the hill here. I like the lights. Pretty cool. Fold-in mirrors. Let's see if we can get up the interior without the reflection. By the way, 40 miles to the gallon highway, 32 city. A little bit roomier than the Prius, I think. And I can vouch for the Corolla. My ex-wife, we bought her a Corolla many years ago, before the divorce, and she drove that Corolla for, good Lord, I don't know how many years. I mean, I give her credit, man. She put up with that, but it was just a great car all around. I mean, and nothing ever went wrong on it. I don't recall ever having it in the shop. So anyway, this is the new Corolla. Nice looking, very nice car. So this, they're calling it a Corolla. I've never seen anything that looked like this before. I do like the contrast with the bumper down here for the license plate and the dual exhaust. But man, you got no storage room. Well, I imagine the seats fold down. But man, I mean, look at that. There's no storage room there. Now you could put 4 people in here, but imagine if you're going on a trip with the kids, where are you going to put the luggage? I mean, I don't know. There's no rack on top. I mean, I guess it's obviously got more headroom than the Corolla, but look at the shitty gas mileage, man. 28 highway, 21 city, and look at the price tag, $46,026. I'm going to tell you what, I would get the Corolla any day over top of this. I don't know what the hell Toyota's thinking. I mean, I do like the look of the tires here. Look at the red braking system. Anyway, I just wanted to show this to you, but this is a stupid car to me. I don't know. What do you think? I know we're getting a little long in the tongue showing you the vehicles here. This is the B-Force Max. But look at the size of this thing. And it doesn't even have the clearance. Look at the clearance here. I mean, what the hell? Who would buy this? Look at, I can't get the gas mileage because once again, the stupid thing's in the window there. I mean, not in the window. It's got no clearance. I mean, can you imagine parking this thing? I mean, look at it. I've seen tractor trailers that aren't this freaking big. I mean, I don't know who would want this, but I mean, I guess Sequoia. Yeah, okay, there we go. Looks like my car's done. All right, peace out, guys. That's it.